Hey everyone, Curtis here from SuperSend. Just wanted to post another cool video, kind of a follow-up from what I did yesterday. Yesterday I showed how we use like Clay, Vector, and SuperSend to identify website visitors and then use Clay to like generate a very personalized portion of an email and then automatically send that email out to a customer or a potential prospect rather. This is kind of another cool workflow that I'd like to do. And it's cool because I always think of SuperSend as kind of a piece of a larger workflow. Like you can connect SuperSend with other tools to kind of like help you build really awesome like outbound style flows that like kind of wow prospects. And there's a lot of like functionality, with our API and webhooks. Like you can just be very flexible with using different tools sort of around SuperSend if you want. So this is a cool one. So we have some outbound campaigns where we're offering, we offer like a playbook that it's like how to, like, for example, this is setting up scalable cold email. Like if basically just a playbook that kind of teaches you about how to set up inboxes and DNS records and just like all of the technical setup that you would need to set up SuperSend, which is like arguably the hardest part about cold email is just making sure you have like the infrastructure right. So we send out a playbook to people that are interested in this specific outbound campaign that we run. And when people reply to the campaign, like we have like a word in there that's like no spam, right? And when they reply to the campaign, they automatically get sent from that campaign into another campaign, which is this like pretty short, like 2 email sequence. But what's cool is they, before they get into this email sequence, so they leave sequence 1. They say, "Hey, I'm interested in the playbook." When they reply with no spam, we actually send a webhook out to a Clay table, and this is the the prospect that we have identified that signaled yes on that email, and we send that webhook into Clay. We bring in some of those 3 campaign ideas that we talked about yesterday. I actually bring that in as a data point because we can our webhook is like super customizable. Any variable you add in SuperSend is now a part of like the outbound webhook, which I think is awesome. So basically, I've just got these variables that I've added in here, and then simply like all this table is doing is like accepting the webhook, and I'm just generating like a suggested domain that they could use to do cold outbound, because you don't want to do cold outbound on your company domain just because it could get that's just a lot of risk for your business. And so I use a simple Clay prompt. I mean, this is like a version. I mean, this is an easy one. Like anybody could make this prompt. And it just generates a simple domain that's like similar to their company domain that they could use, right? And so next, what I'm doing is I'm actually sending a API request, not back to SuperSend, but actually to N8N. And what I'm doing is I'm taking this domain and creating like a really personalized playbook, like for the prospect. So again, from Clay, I'm sending now a webhook into N8N, and N8N. This is a cool platform. It's just like a Make or Zapier style platform, but like I self-host it. And so once that data comes into N8N, I'm using in Google Drive, I'm finding a template that I have created in Google Drive, and I'm copying that template. And I was going to show you the template real quick. Here it is. Cool. So I have this template in Google Drive, and I've just created this. And what this looks like is, it's a playbook here. It's got like some curly brackets and stuff. So I'm actually going to personalize using these curly brackets with N8N. So again, webhook to data with data to go into N8N. Then in Google Drive, I'm using this function to copy that template, and I'm creating a second Google Doc with it. And in this right here, I'm doing a find and replace. And so anytime, like any place that I want to personalize within that Google Doc, like company name, first name, that company URL that I generated in Clay, I also put that in there. I'm like essentially creating a personalized playbook for each individual prospect. And then this last API node sends all of this information the playbook, everything now back into my SuperSend campaign, where prospect is now getting an email that looks like this. Yeah, sorry, this is it right here. So here's the cold email playbook you requested. This is actually always a link to the actual Google Doc, and then just some generic text here. And then so what these look like this is kind of the template, right? But when a customer gets or prospect gets that email, it looks like this. These guys are actually a customer, so this is actually how I got this customer. Was they got this playbook, which was awesome. So it just gives you like first name, and then kind of everywhere through this playbook as we sort of instruct it. And this isn't like a SuperSend related playbook. It's like literally a playbook somebody could read and set up like cold email, like inboxes, infrastructure. Certainly we mentioned SuperSend in here, but like really it's like just the process. You could take this process and use any like sending platform you wanted. And it just injects little bits of information here. Like you can see how this is personalized right here. This is personalized. You've got the first name at the top that I said. So there's just like little pieces of it that are like very specific to the company. And then at the end we have sort of a, call to action, personalized name. And so, yeah, this is just like kind of a cool way to use like SuperSend and like some of the other tools, right? These are things that like make, putting like a go-to-market sort of engineering style stack together, like really fun. Like if you can you do some of these like low lift sort of automated pieces, it just makes cold outbound like more relevant to the customer or the prospect, and just like is not just sending like random cold emails. Like these are some of the cool things that we do with SuperSend. So yeah, let me know if you have like questions about this. Like there's a couple different tools I'm using, like I said, SuperSend, Clay, and N8N. I'd be happy to share like any resources, or just, if you're thinking about setting something like this up, I'd love to, I'd be happy to help you do it or just give you some pointers. All right. Happy sending, everybody. Have a super day. See ya.